Yeah, morning all. So myself, I'm Vijay, holds nearly 17 plus years of experience, which includes nearly 8 plus years of experience in Python environment. So my experience includes design, development, and implementation of Python and Django based applications. So well versed in implementing different Python libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, CP, right? So before I start, right, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yeah, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible?
Yes.
Fine, thank you. So as part of today's demo, I'll be covering the following topics. Yes. Why Python? Why Python, right? And Python is not a kind of technology which is very recently introduced. It was introduced in the year 1989. Almost more than 30 years ago, it was released. But why all of a sudden Python has got great boom? Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, and who can learn Python? What are the prerequisites to learn Python? Do you need to have knowledge about any programming knowledge? So here, who anybody can update with Python, with zero programming, with non-programming also, right? You can update with the Python, right? The Python syntaxes look like normal English statements. They're not as complex as other programming, right? So I'll brief you about those Python syntaxes, right? Yes. How Python was built, how Python was derived, means Python was built or derived by taking the features or advantages from different other programmings. It has taken some features from one programming, that is some advantages from one programming, some other advantages from other programming, from multiple programming languages. It has taken the advantage. From multiple programming languages has taken. So that's why we call Python as a hybrid language. I'll brief you about what are the features Python has taken from different programming languages, what features it has. Python real-time applications. What kind of applications we can develop today by using Python? Python mostly used for developing what kind of applications? And Python usage. Who are using Python today? Which companies are using Python? And the Python features as compared with other programmings, and Python comparison with other programming, coding wise, length wise, complexity wise. You can check how simple this Python statements, right? And reasons why Python is suddenly super popular, especially from the last 4 to 5 years. Python has got a great boom, right? And Python scope and job market. What is the current job market of Python, and what is the scope of Python in the coming years, right? This is what I'll be discussing, right, in today's and tomorrow's session. All right, starting with the why Python. So I'll be giving time for your general queries at the end of the session. Right now, why Python? So Python is a general purpose programming. It's a general purpose programming. So what do you mean by general purpose? I define Python in 5 lines. So first, it's a general purpose programming. So before Python, to make you understand what is general purpose programming. So before Python, we have got some programming languages like Pascal. If you heard about these languages like Pascal, Fortran, COBOL, right? These languages are purpose-based languages. They are used for a particular purpose, specific purpose. Pascal and Fortran for complicated mathematical applications and for scientific applications. COBOL for business applications. Means they are used for a particular purpose. Purpose-based language, we say, but a language which is suitable for developing any kind of application. Such a language we call it as general purpose programming language, a language which is suitable for developing any kind of application. Such a language we call general purpose programming. Python is such a kind of programming where we can develop any kind of application like web applications, automation applications, animation applications, gaming applications, embedded applications, networking applications, desktop applications. In this way, wide varieties of applications we can develop today by using Python. That's the Python is the mostly used or mostly chosen programming today. Yes, even in the high-end technologies, Python is used as an implementation language. And second, multi-programming features, right? For example, I'll give a labor example. If you're launching a new product into the market, think that you want to launch a new mobile phone, right? To attract the customers, if we embed all the features of various other mobiles, right, into a single piece, right? So it attracts the customers, means you are going to see all the various different features, right? The same way, Python is a kind of programming where we see the features of all the different other programmings within it. That's the reason we saw Python as a hybrid language. So what are the features? I'll be briefing you, right? What features Python has got. So that's the reason we call Python as a hybrid language, multi-programming features. High-level language. Python is a high-level language. Two types of languages I can say, right? High-level languages. So before that, right, two types of languages. Two types of language. Low-level and high-level. Low-level languages and high-level languages. Low-level languages, right? Yes. Example of low-level languages like assembly level language or machine level language, right? Assembly level or machine level languages. These languages, firstly, they are not human understandable. Not human understandable. And secondly, this assembly level or machine level, they are not portable. Not portable, right? And machine dependent. Machine dependent. They cannot run on all the hardware and all the operating system. So they are not human understandable. They are not portable. They are machine dependent. They cannot run on all the hardware and all the operating system. But high level languages like Python. Python is a high level, right? Human understandable, right? It's human understandable. It's portable. Human understandable, it's portable, and machine independent. Machine independent means can run on all the hardware and all the operating system. So Python is human understandable, right? It's portable and machine independent, can run on all the hardware and all the operating systems. So Python is a high level. It's a cross-platform language which can run on any platform like Windows, Mac OS, Linux. No need to install Python within the Linux environment. Python coming as inbuilt within this Linux OS. And interpreted language, interpreted, right? Okay, if we see this interpretation. So we have got compilation, compilation languages and interpretation languages. Compilation and interpretation. One second. Compilation, interpretation, right? Compilation example like C language. Interpretation like Python. So here compilation, if you got some lines of code, it executes the entire code at once. Interpretation, right? Line by line execution, which makes debugging easy. Line by line execution, which makes debugging easy, right? It's statement by statement. It won't execute the entire code at once. Statement by statement, which makes debugging easy. User-friendly programming or programmer-friendly programming language, which provides simple syntaxes, which looks like normal English statements. Yes. Python is a multi-programming features it has got, hybrid features it has got. What are the features Python has got? Right. Python has procedural oriented programming features. It has got procedural oriented programming. Example like C language. It has got the features of this C language. It has got the features procedural, right? Sorry. Next, it has got the features of object-oriented programming. It has object-oriented programming. Example of object-oriented programming like C++ and Java. Scripting like Linux shell script. And what? Modular programming. Example like Modular 3. See, okay, just like a C language, just like C++, Java, just like scripting, we can write many automation script like Modular 3. We can develop many of it. So if we combine all these languages, right? If we combine together all these features like Python, that's why we call Python as a hybrid language. Once again, I'm saying to learn Python, I'm saying it doesn't mean that the prerequisite is C, C++, Java. Without this, you can easily update with Python. The Python syntaxes will be discussing from the scratch ground level to the advanced level. So the Python syntaxes are little different as compared with other programmings. If you talk about the two major programming languages today, two major programming languages used in the industry for enterprise applications development like Python and Java. But if you see this Java, right? Java programmers or developers are strictly restricted to use only object-oriented programming. Java supports only this object-oriented programming. Without object-oriented programming, there is no Java application or a program. Compulsory you need to write within class and object. But in Python, with object-oriented, without object-oriented, with procedural-oriented, with modular programming, we can develop different types of applications. So speaking about this, right, two major programming languages I was saying, right? Java. You see, go back like 10 to 12 years, right? Back 2010, Java was mostly used in the market with 43% usage. Same, if you talk about this Python in 2010. So nobody knows that there was a programming language like Python in 2010. So it was very less used in the industry, right? See, go back like 10 to 15 years, only 3% of usage of Python in the industry. But later, if you go to 2020, after 10 years, the usage of Java. I'll show you some graphs. I'll open Google and show you some graphs, the usage of different programming languages in the market. Which one is mostly used, which is one is the number one ranked programming language today, the mostly used programming, right? So the usage of Python has increased to 31%. So year by year, the usage of Python is increasing because of its diversified number of applications creations and multi-programming features, hybrid features. Once again, I'll show you, I'll open Google and show you this, right? Graph for this. Yes. Scripting. Python supports scripting. Today we are writing many automation scripts in IoT, in AWS, and robotics, right? And modular programming. Because of this modular programming, right? Python has got a great boom in today's market. It has introduced the concept of modules. Python has introduced modules concept, like 89,300 inbuilt modules Python has got for different domains or environments, right? Whatever domain you are from, right? Python provides a module for it. Whether you're from data science or big data or networking or testing, or whatever background you are from, Python is providing modules. Talk about these modules, right? So separate, for example, people from data science background, data science, right? They got Python supporting nearly 10 to 15 modules. Separate modules Python is providing for them, right? And for big data, Python has got separate modules for big data environment for every domain and for testing or test cases. Yes. And for even for networking applications, for networking, it has got separate modules, right? Not only a separate module, a framework itself, Python is providing for networking applications. Yes. And even for operating system kinds of activities, for OS kinds of activities, right? It is providing a separate module, right? The name of the module itself is OS. Okay. And for working with different databases, Python has got a module for every database. Python can easily connect with any database, like Oracle database. There's a separate module like CX_Oracle is the module for it. And for MySQL, we have got separate module Python provides. Like PyMySQL is the module. Yes, within using which we can easily connect by providing the username and password. And even for SQL Server, right? PyODBC is the module Python provides. For every database, it provides this module, right? Not only this, if you're working with any file formats like Excel file, we write a Python code to create an Excel file. Creating an affection file also should happen by writing Python code. And we want to creating multiple sheets within the Excel, right? By writing Python code. And we want to read data from Excel. I want to write data to Excel, right? We have got models like Excel OD, Excel SX Writer, and not only like Excel files, for CSV files, for JSON files, right? For CS1, we have got CSV. The name of the model itself is CSV, comma separated values, right? And for JSON, JavaScript object notation, key value notation, right? For XML files, PDF files, we can easily create a PDF file using Python. Writing data to PDF, reading data from PDF, right? And for mathematical operations, math module, and for statistics, right? We have got separate modules available. And for generating graphs, normal graph, bar graph, histogram, scatter plot, stack plot. So it's very simple generating graphs in Python. Yes. So before you update with any technology, you need to know what kind of applications are we developing today by using it. Python real-time applications. Python real-time applications. What type of? Okay. Firstly, many web applications are getting developed today by using Python. You may ask, you may get a query from the last 20-25 years. Java.NET mostly used in developing web applications. Why I need to go for Python? Means Python has got a framework called Django. The Django we say. It has got many frameworks. One of the famous framework is Django framework. At a rapid speed, you can develop a web application with very less code, right? With less number of lines, we can develop. It has got its own database like SQLite 3. SQLite 3 is the database, right? It has got its own database. It has got its own application server. No need to write any code set. Already pre-written code is available whenever you create project or application. You will see the .py files will be generated automatically for your project. Yes. Apart from this, Python mostly used. See, web applications means very less code you will see, right? In developing an application. 100 lines of Java code I can write within 15 lines in Python. 15 lines of Java code I can just write within 4 lines in Python. So that's very simple, not even 1/4 coding as compared with other programming. Right? And in automation applications, using technologies like data science, using technologies like IoT, using technologies like DevOps environment, right? So here, data science, IoT. So if I talk about this IoT, Internet of Things, it is a physical network or device embedded with software, sensors, electronics, used for collecting data, exchanging data, and controlling the things from the place where we are, right? So it is simply saying, right, electronic devices connecting and communicating with each other. And for this coding, 90% of the coding in Python. And apart from this, data science. So the talk of the industry, data science. So everything deals with Python, means total implement, means data or everything deals with data or data science. Data or data science, using data or data science, we perform data analysis, data predictions, data classifications, data clusterings, data recommendations. So data science is a blend of technique. The main technique, what we see here, ML, machine learning, ML, right? Machine learning. Machine learning, we have got many techniques. Machine learning techniques are algorithms, right? Regression, classification, clusterings, recommendations, pattern matchings. For implementing all these techniques or algorithms, we require a language. We require a language, right? So Python is the mostly chosen or mostly used programming for implementing this machine learning or deep learning. Even within the DevOps, right? Today we are writing many automation scripts using Python. Python is one of the best scripting language with vast varieties of libraries. Right. Apart from this, today Python also used in big data environment. Another major area where we can see, right, the usage of Python. Just I'll take a minute where this Python used in this big data, like KBs of data or MBs of data, you should have seen, or GBs of data or TBs of data. But beyond that, we have got petabytes of data, exabytes, zettabytes, yottabytes, so on, right? From here, we say like it's huge data, right? Should have seen, do you think like petabytes or exabytes of data, is it getting generated? Means yes. Example like social media like Facebook, right? In a minute, how many posts and videos are getting circulated? What is the data generated by Facebook in a minute? It's not in KBs or MBs, all right? So huge data. Not only Facebook, today most of the applications generating data in petabytes, right? For example, if I take 1 minute transaction, in a minute, Facebook, how many Facebook posts? In a minute, how many Twitter tweets? And how many like Google queries? What is the data generated by YouTube videos upload, right? Everyone uploading their videos in the YouTube, right? What should be the storage capacity to store all the videos? Email or Gmail messages, right? Millions and trillions of users using this email messaging, right? What should be the storage capacities to store all that messages, right? And bank transactions within the city. For a particular bank within the city, we see hundreds of branches. Within the state, we see thousands of branches, and within the country, we see lakhs of branches for a particular bank. Again, within each branch, we see millions of customers making transactions hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, right? So each and every transaction has to be stored. Similarly, like okay, in bank transactions, telecom transactions, right? And even like e-commerce, like Amazon, Flipkart, all those, they store huge data. So for this huge data, we have got like big data tools available. If we heard about this big data, Hadoop or Spark, used for huge data storage and processing. Yes, they're used for huge data storage and processing. They use languages like Scala language. They use language like Python, especially Spark, very high speed processing in memory computation technology, like implemented using Python, Spark with Python, like PySpark. So even in big data environment, Python is mostly preferred, like PySpark, Spark with Python implementation. I list out the various other applications where Python is mostly preferred, like scientific applications. Even NASA is using Python for its research and development activities because of Python hybrid features. We have got a module like CP, scientific Python, CP nothing but, and even for numerical analysis. Okay, for numerical analysis, right? Yes. We have got a module called NumPy module. So scientific applications, we got CP, numerical analysis, we got NumPy, right? And apart from this, Python used for networking applications, right? For networking applications, right, it has got a separate framework itself. Python is providing, right? Like Twisted Python. It's a framework given by Python for developing network applications or programs. And for GUI, for graphical user interface or for animation applications, we have got a tkinter, PyQt models available. Python is providing for this GUI animations. Yes. And for game development, right, Python is mostly used or chosen for developing games in Python, single user, multi-user, online games. We have got separate frameworks like Pygame, PyChara, are the frameworks given by Python for developing games in Python. Apart from this, some 3D games like PySoy, right? Yes. Apart from this game development, Python is also used for scheduling tasks. We have got Airflow for it, and for testing or test cases, and for software development. Right? Python is one. Okay. Software developers make use of Python as a support language. All right. And software development, and even for business applications, right? For business applications, Python is one of the best choice in developing e-commerce systems, right? And one of the hottest application of Python, right? Database applications. Without database, there is no the web application, right? So database application, right? Python can connect with any database and storing the data of it. And for scrapping data from different sites, websites like Flipkart, Amazon, right? We have got models for it. Yes. Okay. For database applications, web scraping, right? And Python not only for computer applications, it is also used for other environment like electronics or civil environment, right? So for CAD, 3D CAD applications, got Python providing models. I said 89,300 inbuilt modules, thousands of modules Python is providing, right? And for embedded applications, right? One of the most famous embedded application like Raspberry Pi, which uses Python for its computation, and for computer vision like color detection, object detection, face detections, right? And even for robotics with Python, we have got huge packages, right? And for desktop applications creations. So these are some of those applications where Python is mostly preferred, mostly used in web applications, automation applications, in big data, in game development, database applications, right? Yes. So like who are using Python today? Who are using Python today, right? Topmost applications built using Python. See, Google, right? Google using Python for its web search system. Google is one of the best example of Python web application. The first Google web crawling was written in Java. It was so difficult. It was written in Python. And yeah, Yahoo using Python. YouTube using Python for its video sharing service. Uber pricing algorithm implemented using Python. Instagram, the prime reason for Instagram to choose for Python is Python practicality and its hybrid features. NASA is using Python, right? Accordingly, NASA is using Python because of Python multi-programming features. And other applications like if you heard about Quora, Reddit, Pinterest, are these applications built using Python. Netflix using Python for its security, automation, and subscription related things, right? MMOG, massively multiplayer online games. Maya, a powerful 3D animation which uses Python script. Yes, BitTorrent using Python for its file sharing service. Yes. iRobot for military and commercial applications, right? And for hardware testing purpose, hardware testing. Companies like IBM, Seagate, Qualcomm, all these, they use Python for hardware testing. These are some of those applications, right? Where Python is mostly used. Okay. Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular. Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? First one. Very less code you see, right? Very less code you see. See this. programmers or developers are migrating towards Python, are attracted towards Python because of its very less coding and also simple syntaxes given by Python. They look like normal English statements, right? Yes. And interactive mode given by Python. Interactive mode. What do you mean by this interactive mode? We can easily interact with Python statement by statement. For every statement, it gives the response. For example, in the bottom search panel, I am typing CMD. And just type Python here, right? Just to type Python and say enter. Python 3.11.4. Okay. You see this Python version and this 3-arrow symbol, right? Python interpreter gets open. You can type any valid Python statements and you can interact with Python here. I'm asking what is 3 plus 2? Okay. What is 45 into 27? It gives the response, right? X is 10. No need to define the data type. Directly we can provide the values. Say what is X? What is Y? What is X plus Y? What is X minus Y? X into Y, right? X by Y. For every statement, it is giving response, right? X plus Y, X minus X into X by, right? X into 2, 10 into 2, 20. X to the power of 2, 10 square, 100, right? Yes. X equal to hello, HELLO, right? X into 3. Prints hello for 3 times. X into 5. Prints hello for 5 times, right? Quit. Yes. Okay, fine. It comes out of it. Now, this is what interactive mode. For every statement, it gives response. We can interact with Python. This kind of interaction you cannot see in other programmings, right? Apart from this multi-programming features, multi-programming or hybrid features it has got, and wide varieties of applications we can develop, right? Many varieties. It's a general purpose programming, any kind of applications we can develop, and many built-in libraries. Many built-in libraries, right? Or modules used, right? Yes. Reasons which makes Python super popular: very less code, simple syntaxes, interactive mode, multi-programming features, wide varieties, and many built-in libraries. So I'll just show you that Python is the #1 ranked programming language in today's industry. So I'll open Google and I'll show you, right? Yes. So popular coding language, I'm just typing, right? Popular coding language. Popular coding language, right? Yes. If you see from last 4-5 years, right? Yes. If you see popular coding language, okay, see this, the most popular programming languages, right? Yes. Python, Java, all this, right? Okay. Python remains the most popular programming language. Python remains the most popular programming language, right? Yes. Most popular programming language in, see here, most popular in 2021, Python, Java, JavaScript, all this. In 2022 also, Python stands as the #1 ranked. See, most in demand programming language of 2022. Python, next comes Java, JavaScript, right? Yes. Yes. Python, most popular programming language used by top 25 unicorns. Python, next comes Java, JavaScript, right? Yes. Even if you see this, see this graph, right? The big circle is Python, right? Big circle is Python. And this Java 19.6, Java Python 31%, Java 19%, C++ 10%, C 6%, JavaScript 6.5, Ruby 7.1%. So in this way, multiple programming language, their usages, right? Rank by average salary, rank by volume of job openings. So even if you see ranking by average salary, Python stands first. Ranking by volume of job openings, Python stands first, right? Yes. So in this way, right? Okay. Most in demand programming languages 2021-22, right? Python, next comes Java, JavaScript. Okay. So if you see these jobs for this Python, right? If I type Python jobs, right? Lot of jobs for Python today. Just see this Python jobs you type. Yes. 21,571 Python job vacancies in Hyderabad. Yeah. 6,000 plus Python jobs in LinkedIn. Yes. 985 Python developer jobs, right? In Indeed. 853 Python developer jobs in Hyderabad. So job, not only this Python, right? If you go for full stack Python, if you go for full stack, you can also, like, if you say the Django jobs, Django, the framework of Python, right? The framework of Python. If you see, if you just search for this, people who knows Django are very less, and people who have got command in Django is very less, right? So if you update with Django, the competition for Django is very less. But if you have got command on this Django, right? Just observe Django jobs, 23,960 Django job vacancies. Yes. Django jobs, 479 open jobs, 22,000 Django jobs and vacancies in Indeed. So jobs are there for. Okay. So what is that? What I'll be discussing as part of this, right? So if you observe this course content in brief, in depth, I'll be discussing, right? So Python, starting with Python basics, Python history, applications, features, versions, flavors, comparison with other programmings, Python operations, modes, execution modes, editors, IDs and editors, working with IDs and editors, data types, constants, variables, comments, input output statements, type conversions, right? Comments in Python, escape sequences in Python, strings, indexes, and slicing. Operators in Python, right? Operators, different types of operators: arithmetic, comparison, logical, assignment, shorthand, membership, bitwise, and Python IDs. PyCharm ID, Python, working with PyCharm, installing Anaconda prompt, Anaconda navigator, Jupyter, Spider, Eclipse. Okay, with different IDs, right? I'll be showing you not on one ID. I'll be showing you like 4 to 5 IDs. How to download, how to install, how to write the code, how to execute the code on different Python IDs. In real time, we use IDs, right? Flow control statements, basic Python, like looping statements, for loop, while loop, strings in Python, string indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special characters. Similarly, collections, list, tuple, sets, dictionary, list properties, list indexing, list slicing, list function, list methods, list addresses, nested list, list modifications. Similarly for tuples, right? Yes, tuple properties, sets. Okay, list tuple sets, dictionaries, functions in Python, defining a function, calling a function, right? Categories. Okay, different types of arguments like default, non-default, keyword, non-keyword, arbitrary arguments, different types of functions like lambda functions, filter function, map function, reduce functions, right? Modules in Python, how to import modules, different ways of importing, renaming, reloading, package in Python, right? Errors and exceptions in Python. Yes, file handling, creating different types of files, reading, writing data, right? Yes. Object-oriented programming concepts in brief, like static variable, non-static variable, class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, constructors, destructors, garbage collector, right? Method overriding, regular expressions. I'll be discussing about different models related to different, like regular expression module, extracting required data from the given data, various functions provided by it, database connectivity. I'll be showing you the installation of one database also, like MySQL. Okay. Database connections, in working with the different SQL statements, establishing connection with MySQL, closing database connections, connection object, cursor object, retrieving data from the database, right? SQL queries, transaction management, right? And many models, right? Yes. And many models related to, see, database related modules, regular expressions related modules, and graphic modules, Excel module, data science related module, big data related modules. In this way, different types of modules and how to create our own modules in Python. Everything will be briefed. Yes, Python date and time related things by operating system module, advanced concepts like iterator, generator, closures, decorators, web scraping, working with different types of files, and GUI programming, creating GUI and Excel workbook, data analytics, introduction to data science, Python pandas model, Python numpy modules, and Python matplotlib model, everything in brief for plotting and visualizations, right? So this is what 30 topics will be discussed as part of Python core and advanced programmings, right? Yes. Okay. Import matplotlib and fine. These are the topics for Python, right? Core and advanced, and people who go for full stack, Python full stack, right? Framework like Django framework in brief, in depth, like why Django is free, its features, characteristics, differences, web frameworks in the Django installation, the Django project architecture, and discussing about each and every Python file, manage.py, urls.py settings, admin, models, views, the Django applications creations, right? And the Django views, the Django templates, the Django admin, the Django models, advanced concepts, right? And apart from this UI technologies, if it doesn't have knowledge on web technologies, right? Like HTML in brief, CSS in brief, JavaScript in brief, and MySQL, and also Bootstrap, right? Everything will be discussed. So as part of this course, you will be total full stack. If you go, see, first thing is Python. Within this Python, you will be learning like Python core, advanced and application oriented modules. So nearly we'll be spending 70 hours for this Python, right? So after this, you will be getting great command on this. We'll be discussing more than 300 plus code examples in this, and we'll spend 70 hours. It takes like 2 months to 2.5 months. Apart from this, people who go for full stack, Django framework and UI technologies or web development technologies. Before you go with Django, like we have got HTML, we have got CSS, we have got Bootstrap, JavaScript. This everything will be discussed. JavaScript. This one. And in Django, right? We'll discuss nearly 15 to 20 applications creations, right? In Django, yes. The fee structure for Python, it says 5,000, it's an offer batch. And for this Django and web development, it is 7K. But if you take total full stack, it is just 10K. If you this entire package, if you take like it's 10K. If probably for Python, it is 5K. So yes. So apart from this, you will be getting that every session is video recorded. You will be getting the recorded video and soft copy of this class notes. Assignments and tasks will be provided, right? And getting the output is not the criteria. You need to write your own code, build your own code, right? Recorded video, soft copy of the notes, assignments and tasks, right? So interactive live sessions, right? So as it's a demo session, I was interacting most of the time, but in regular general sessions, right? Everyone, you will be kept in unmuted status. Now also you are in unmuted status, right? You will be kept in unmute. You can unmute and you can just ask your queries, right? But general regular sessions, for every statement I type, you will be responding, right? What is the expected output for that line to line, right? Yes. If you got any queries, okay, you can just go ahead with your queries. But before that, tomorrow also, you people can attend the session same time at 7 o'clock using the same link. To see more on this Python, right? I'll be briefing you about the coding wise. People, anyone from non-programming or zero programming, right? You can just check in tomorrow's session, right? So the statements of Python, how they live, their coding wise, length wise, right? Complexity wise. So if you've got any queries, you can go with your queries, right? Yes. Okay. Fine. Tomorrow, okay. If I'm done with the queries, right? So I'll meet you tomorrow, same time, like at 7 o'clock using the same link. So fine. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow. Fine.